Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today we're going to do the medium-sized crochet mason jar cozies, and this is the one that we see in the back here. We already have tutorials available for this, the other two sizes. This size and this are very similar to each other as far as diameter, and then the game plan totally changes then for the large one. So today we're going to concentrate on the medium size, but before we do that, let's listen to this real quick. This video has sound alerts added. When you hear this sound, it will be your signal that the segment is finishing up. Press stop and crochet the instructions, and then press play again to continue along in your project. So let's take a look at the pattern here. You're going to need one ball of Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn in order to play with this today. You're going to need a 3.75 millimeter size F crochet hook today. So you're going to notice that the base instructions are very similar between all of them, except for the big one here. It gets a little bit bigger, and we will cover that in that particular tutorial. So your goal is to be able to get it. So the difference between this one and this one is that there's a repeat pattern of this section twice, where this was only once. So you'll see that it builds on top of each other to make it even taller. So it's actually really quite an easy pattern to be able to follow. So what today, we're just gonna grab our crochet hook, and then we're gonna get started and play along. So let's begin by doing a slip knot. Remember that there are slower tutorials available online if you would like to do this. This is classified as easy, and it really truly is if you just follow it step by step. So we're going to begin, and we're going to chain 2. So just yarn over, chain 1 and chain 2, and we're going to begin round number 1 right now. We might as well get right to it. So to go to the first chain from the hook, so it's the second chain from the hook, but it's the first chain you started, and I want you to single crochet into that chain a total of 6 times. So let's count those out loud together. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I went right over top of that straggler so I could bury it into position. And if you're unsure which one is the 6th one back, just count it back if you want to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and slip stitch to the 6th one back, or the first stitch if you cannot identify it. It's an easy way of doing it right off the top. It's going to be a little bit stiff to begin with, and that's just because it's nice and tight, and pull through and through as a slip stitch. So do that, and what we're going to do now that we buried in that tail, I am going to then just trim that out, get rid of that, and we're going to move up to round number 2 together. So as we continue along, I'm going to show you how to start a round, and then I'm going to have you do the round, and you're going to complete that. So let's begin round number 2. You're going to chain 1 to start, and in the same one that you've done the join, I want you to single crochet a total 2 more times. So 1 and 2, and then go to the next stitch and do every stitch of putting in 2 single crochets into each, and please do that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of this round where we'll just finalize and move on to round number 3. So I'm coming up all the way back around. What I want to show you is that don't get confused that you think that this one here is an stitch. It's not. So if you just count, you should have 6 groups of 2, and this one that is leaning over is part of the first one. So a lot of people confuse that, so make sure that when you get all your 6 done, like the 6 groups of 2, then you just go immediately to the top of the first one, the first single crochet, and pull through. So let's move along to round number 3. Round number 3, here's the repeat pattern. We're gonna chain up 1 first, and we're gonna put 1 single crochet into the same one that is doing the join, and then the next one is gonna have 2 single crochets in it. So 1 and 2. So here's the repeat pattern for the remaining of the circle. So it's just gonna be 1 into the next stitch, and then the next one has 2, and these meaning single crochets, and please do that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of this round for round number 3. So as you finish round number 3, the last one will have 2 single crochets into it. I've just kept the count just as it is, so there's nothing special about that, and you're just going to join it with the beginning top of the first single crochet that you started with. So that was round number 3. Let's move along to round number 4. So we're going to immediately chain up 1, and in the same one that you did the join, you're just gonna do 1 single crochet, and then you're gonna do another single crochet into the next one as well. Okay, so you got 2 single crochets sitting by itself, and then the next one is gonna have 2 single crochets into the same one. So 1 and 2. So the repeat pattern for this complete round is as follows. It's 1 single crochet into the first one, another single crochet into the next one, and then 2 single crochets into the next one after that. So please do that all the way for round number 4. So I'm all the way back around and I'm just gonna finish this one up and join it to the first single crochet. So that was round number 4. So round number 5 we're going to continue along now and we're going to chain up 1 and the first one where the join is 1 single crochet. Then the next 2 are going to be 1 single crochet each. And then finally the next one is gonna have 2 single crochets in there. So this is the repeat pattern. So to do the repeat pattern it's as follows. There's gonna be 3 single crochets, 1 in each in a row. And then finally the next one after that is gonna be 2 single crochets into the next. Please do that all the way around for round number 5. So I'm coming up all the way back around and I'm just joining to the first one here. So this is round number 5. Round number 6 we're now going to change the story a little bit and what we're going to do is work in the back loops only to do this. So this will create what appears to be a line that is in the base just like you see there. So let's do that for here and what we're going to do is just chain up 1 and we're gonna do 1 single crochet into the back loop only. So if you're new to crochet every stitch is made up of 2 strings. See that? 1 and 2. The string that is closest to you is called the front loop and the string that is furthest away from you is the back loop. So what I want you to do is I want you to go into the back loop. So just lift it up and just look for the back loop and just dive right into it and single crochet only into the back loop and that creates a bend in the material. So just going into each stitch 1 single crochet into the back loop and you will notice that a line will obviously form right in front of you. So I bet you're thinking to yourself this is gonna be too small for the jar. Remember it takes several rounds before the jar size or any kind of idea in the round settles down to be the final size. So it takes a few rounds before it gets to the full size. So just have patience with it and do 1 single crochet in each back loop all the way around. So now that I'm all the way back around I'm just going to join it as normal to both the loops there to the first single crochet. So now you can see a definite line happening within your work. We're now gonna move along to the body of this and the body is almost the same for the small and the medium size. It does change sizes in the height but the first part of the body is the same for both. Let's move along to round number 1 of doing the body. So let's begin. We are going to do a total of chaining of 4. This will count as a double crochet and a chain 1. So let's do that together. So 1, 2, 3, that's your double crochet and the 4th one is considered a chain 1 space. Don't forget that because that's gonna be important when you come all the way back. I want you to skip the next stitch and go to the second over and I want you to double crochet. So here's the repeat pattern going all the way around. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. I'll just repeat that one more time. So chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet in the next. Please do that all the way around for round number 1. As you come back around you are gonna have your last double crochet in there. There should be 1 there before the first one. If that makes sense. And just chain 1 first and then I want you to join it to the third one up. So 1, 2 and 3 and just join it to the third chain up so that you can maintain that balance of a double crochet chain 1 space. So let's move along to round number 2. Round number 2 is an easy one. We're gonna chain up 1 and we're gonna put 1 single crochet in the same one that you did the join and then you're just gonna move to the first chain 1 space and single crochet and then you're gonna single crochet into the next double crochet. So the repeat pattern the whole thing around is 1 single crochet in each whether it's a chain 1 or a double crochet is all you need to do for round number 2. So please do that and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm coming up all the way back around and don't forget you still have to do that 1 single crochet in the last chain 1 space before you joined it. Don't forget that. And then you just join it to the top of the first single crochet, the beginning for single crochet to end round number 2. So I'm gonna bring you back to my project now and I just wanna show you where you are on the project and then we'll carry on with round number 3. So here we are in the project. We've gone all the way from the round now to the base. We just did our first layer of these the double crochet chain 1 and then we did a single crochet layer. So now it's gonna get a little more fun and we are going to then now create this layer here. You're going to notice that it comes down into a point here with the single crochet and then jumps over and we create like a V stitch going on in here where that goes into next time around. So let's please do round number 3 together. So let's begin round number 3 together. We're going to chain 5 which counts as a double crochet and chain 2. So 1, 2, 3, there's your double crochet and 4, 5 is your chain 2. So you're going to want to skip over 2 of the next stitches. So 1 and 2 and you're going to single crochet into the third one over there. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2 again, so 1 and 2, and now we're going to skip 2, so 1 and 2, and you are then going to put in 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet into the same stitch. So let's do that. So we're gonna skip 2, 1 and 2, go to the third, you're gonna do a double crochet followed by a chain 2 and a double crochet into the same one. See that? So one has just a single crochet in, and then it reaches over to do the V-stitch. Let's try this again. So we're gonna chain 2, and we're going to skip 2, single crochet into the next, then chain 2, skip 2, and then V-stitch. So it's a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. So please do that all the way around for round number 3. So the ending of round number 3 is kind of odd, and I wanted to save it for this part instead of telling you that in advance. So I've just got my V-stitch in over here. I skipped my 2, chain 2, here's the single. So we're just gonna chain 2 to begin, and right where the other one is already positioned, you're gonna want to double crochet into there, and then you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to go to the third stitch up. So 1, 2 and 3, the third chain up, and that's where you're going to join your work. Okay, so when you started this, you were actually partially in a V as you were going all the way around. So please do that, and then let's move on to round number 4 together. So let's begin round number 4 together. We're going to immediately chain up 4, or chain up 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and you want to come to the next V-stitch that you run into. So see how that they're in the same one right here, and we're gonna do 3 clusters, double clusters into there as we go around. So let's watch how we do this. So we're gonna wrap our hook and going into the actual V-stitch, pulling it through, pull through 2 and hold. Do it again. So wrap the hook into the same one, pull through 2 and hold. Do it again, pull through 2 and hold. So you'll have a total of 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all of them, then chain 1 and do that all over again in the same one. We want to do this a total of 3 times into the same V-stitch. So wrap the hook and going into the same V-stitch, pull through 2 and hold, in, pull through 2 and hold, in, pull through 2 and hold. Now you got your 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1, and do it one more time. So yarning over, pulling it through, pull through 2 and hold. I'm gonna speed up a little bit, and then pull through all 4 loops. So now we're just going to chain 1 to finish that off, and then we're going to then go to the next V-stitch and do this all over again. So just jump right over to the next V. Okay, if you're not sure, just look, see how it looks like a V, and going in there, yarning over, pull through 2 and hold. And I'm just gonna speed up, and you're gonna do this in each V-stitch going all the way around. 4 loops on the hook, pull through everything, chain 1, do it again, it's the clusters. Okay, you got your 4 loops on the hook, pull through, chain 1, and do it one more time. Okay, pull through all 4 loops, chain 1, and then move to your next V-stitch. So just open it up and get your next V-stitch and do that all over again. Please do that all the way around for round number 4. So I'm coming up to the very last V-stitch that I want to point out to you. So I'm just doing my clusters, chain 1, do it again. So when we started the first chain 3, it was kind of like a filler just to get us to go and get us started. So when we're done this last cluster, which I'm about to do, okay, and then chain 1, I want to join it then to the top of the first chain 3 that I started with. So see how we started there? I just want to join that over there, and that'll bring that back in balance then with the other things that are currently there. So that was round number 4. You can see it's looking pretty good at this point. So let's move along to round number 5 and 6. So 5 and 6, as we move forward, is going back to the body of it and to repeat round number 1 and then round number 2. So we're gonna do that for rounds number 5 and 6. So let's begin to do round number 1 as we go. So we're going to chain 4 if you remember. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it was a double crochet, chain 1, and the easiest way to do this is that, see these spaces in between these clusters? That's your next stitch that you go. So then you're just gonna double crochet right in between them. So don't worry about a stitch, just go right in between and double crochet, chain one, and then go into the next, just separate it out and get the next cluster and go right in between for another double crochet. Chain one, and then we're right in between the clusters at this point of the grouping, so just double crochet, chain one, and then just immediately just separate that cluster out and keep on doing that all the way around. That's the easiest way that I can know to do this. So please do that all the way around for round number 5, which is a repeat of round number 1. So once I get all the way back around, I've got my double crochet, chain one, and you'll notice that it's a chain 4 that we started with. Just go the third chain up. So 1, 2, and 3. Go right there, and that will complete off repeating of round number 5. So let's move along to round number 6, which is the same as repeating of round number 2. To begin to do that, just chain up 1, and then just 1 single crochet in the top of that same one, or where you did the join, and then 1 into the chain 1 space. So 1 single crochet into the double crochet, and the next one into the next chain 1 space. Please do that all the way around. So it's 1 single crochet in each all the way around. So in this round, this is round number 6, which is the repeating of round number 2. Don't forget to go into the final chain 1 space and then just join it to the top of the first single crochet. So that was repeating of round number 2. So now we have rows number 1 through 4 done, and then we're repeating again. So rows 1 and 2 so far. So now that we have round number 6, which was the same as round number 2, we're going to continue along and do 7 and 8 together. So 7 and 8 are actually just the same as 3 and 4. So let's begin to do that, and we're going to move on and let's do round number 3 all over again. So chain 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you remember, it's these ideas that we're doing down here with the V-stitch. So skip over 2, 1 and 2, and single crochet into the third one over, and then chain 2, and then skip 2 and go to the third one over for a V-stitch. So it's a single or double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. So let's just repeat that idea one more time because you've already done it before. So chain 2, skip 2, single crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, and then V-stitch into the third one over. Please do that all the way around for this round, which is round number 7. So like before, we're coming all the way around. This is the chain 4 that we started with. We're going to chain 2 before we begin, and then go into the very last one where it's already included, and you're going to double crochet, and this is part of the V-stitch. So then you're just going to do a chain 2 and then just join it to the third chain up. So 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And that concludes off round number 7, which is the same as round number 3. Let's move along to round number 8, which is the same as round number 4. So let's begin and let's do this. So we're going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Same as before, like we did down here, just like you see. We're going to skip to the first V-stitch, and then we're going to cluster 3 times. So just do this. So just speeding up now because we've already know how to do that. And then just 4 loops, pull through, and then chain 1, and then do it all over again to the same one. So you want 3 groups of clusters in each of these V stitches. Chain 1 and do it one more time. Okay, pulling it through all of them, and chain 1, and now you just jump to the next V-stitch available to you and cluster 3 times all over again with the chain 1 that separate them. So please do that all the way around for round number 8, which is the same as round number 4. So I'm just finishing up the last group of clusters that I'm doing on this one, and remember how we ended before. It wasn't a big deal. Just going to do one last cluster to finish. Pull through. Okay, and then what I want to do is, once I get that done, is that I want to chain 1, and then I'm just going to then just put it into the top of this chain 3 that we had started with over here. Okay, so that concludes off round number 8. So this is what it looks like. So now you can see that you have doubles of these going on here, so that means that's correct. Let's move along to round number 9 and 10. So let's move on to round number 9. It's the same as round number 1 all over again. So let's just chain our 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's your double crochet. 4 is your chain 1 space, and like I showed you before, just separate these clusters out and go right in between them and just put in a double crochet, and then chain 1, and then separate the next cluster out and chain 1, and then this is in between the 2 groups of clusters, as you see. So please do that all the way around for round number 9. So as you come all the way around, you've got your last groups of clusters. Don't forget that that chain of 4 is in between the other ones, so just make sure you just join it with a slip stitch to the beginning or top of the chain, the third chain up, sorry. So let's begin our round number 10, which is the same as round number 2, and then we're gonna repeat round number 2 one more time. So chaining up 1, and we're gonna single crochet in the top of the first double, and then into the single next, or into the chain 1 space next for a single crochet. So it's just gonna be 1 single crochet in each, whether it's a stitch or whether it's a chain 1 space. Please do that all the way around for round number 10. So as you come all the way around, don't forget that last chain 1 space is included, and then just join it to the top of the first single crochet, the beginning single crochet, and do that one more time. So chain up 1 and 1 single crochet in each stitch, going all the way around. Please do that for the final round of number 11, and then you're done this particular size. This is the medium size of the jar cozies, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So once you get all the way back around, just join it to the top of the first single crochet, and that's it. You're done your medium size. So just fasten off your yarn, weave in your ends, and you're good to go. So you just need to grab a jar, and you'll notice that it's a nice snug fit. That's exactly what you want. You want it to not be droopy at all, and therefore you're good to go. So now this is the medium size. This is actually a pretty easy idea. Remember, if you're using real candles, I would suggest that you do cotton yarn for sure, because it doesn't burn as easily as acrylic does. And so I would recommend, though highly recommend, if you were to ask me, LED candles, or you can use this as a vase or storage container if you wish. So just grab your jar. I've got the wrong size here, but just slide the cover right over top of the jar, and you're good to go. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as thecrochetcrowd.com. Have a great day. I'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.